Jaden Ivey, man. This was a bright young kid who comes from basketball and athletic royalty. His mother played for the Shock, played in Indiana. She was the epitome of what basketball was supposed to be. Like she was it. And to see what has transpired my goodness. It has been an all-out frenzy on the internet about mm-mm-mm. Somebody just sent me something that's like crazy. But yeah, man, it's been a terrible situation that's developed between. He was like, I was just watching the Mike Tyson video on the Patreon. I'm sorry, y'all. You could always go back and watch the Mike Tyson video. Yes. What's up, Scott? We're going to go into that. No, his mother is basketball royalty. Like, he was the little baby she was carrying on her lap. Like, that's who Jaden Ivey was at the games. When she ended up playing for the Fever, she played with the Shock. She's right now the head coach of Notre Dame women's basketball team. That's his mother. His father is his name Javin. He is something else. That dude's like a gigantic. He's like a gigantic football player. Now, the thing that makes this sad is that people have piled on who didn't know anything about Jaden Ivey. Okay, and we'll get to that. But this is the family, you know. This is who Jaden Ivey is at heart. You know, he's a guy with faith. That's Caitlin Newton, another star. She was at Purdue. She was a volleyball star. Over 400 kills. She was averaging almost 4 kills a set. You know what I'm saying? So she's an athlete too. So they went to college together. And when this, transpired, this was something that was going to be on the table. Now, the main problem is this, is what people don't know. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, bro. The main problem was this. Jaden Ivey, throughout the relationship, they've only been together 5 years. They had kids almost right away. They've only been together 5 years, and they had probably 1 year without kids. So they were young, having kids right away. Then they had all of these problems that were pretty much his problems. You know what I mean? He had problems. And when you have problems that you haven't dealt with and you're bringing them into a relationship, now the person you're Now she's not, they were engaged when, she got pregnant. Then they rushed into a marriage. Now you have to deal with his problems head on. Y'all are family now. So you never really truly got to know him. You know what I'm saying? Right. You never took the chance to really get to know him. But you saw all the dark side that the public don't see. He was verbally abusive, physically abusive. He admitted to all of these things, and when you get to that point, he had a spiritual awakening. He had to change his life. He was addicted to, adult videos, all because he told us. But, like he said, he was in Denver. He was in Denver, and all of this came around full circle. He had an epiphany while he was in Denver. And then all of this started to turn upside down. And now his wife's not calling him back. His mother's the head coach of, the Notre Dame basketball team. And he's claiming his family's turned on him. But this was signs going on before this. Like Detroit made this decision, and the Bulls had no idea what they was getting themselves into. Now, this was something that's happened since he's been on the Bulls, and he wasn't playing because he also had knee surgery back in October, and he's dealing with that. And so he's been rehabbing that, but actually able to play. So while they were doing all of these different things, right, saying, oh, well, you should play or you should, he was getting DNPs. And this was pushing him towards a state of depression. And while getting these DNPs, well, he's often referred to him being sexually assaulted as a child. Now, we don't know what happened, but he often talked about this. And when you're young and you're a couple in love and all that stuff, and what comes along with it, oh, of course. So now you're looking at, are you going to allow things to take place? There's so much to be done. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So much to be done. There's crazy people making observations here. Now he has 3 kids, and y'all been together less than 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So Mm, pretty much. When he was on the Pistons, he spoke this way. Well, it's about his whole awakening.
I think as a child, I just never felt love before. I never, felt what true love felt like. Uh, and as I grew up, there were some, traumas that I went through that I don't really, explain to people. But I definitely was sexually abused as a kid. There were some things that saw, that I don't really even talk about, but I know there was, a seed that Satan tried to, use at an early age. And, um, that was tough, obviously, growing up. But as I grew up, I just tried to, seek the wrong things. Even in high school, I, tried, sleeping with women, to fulfill a certain void in my heart that, as I continued to, just grow as a man, uh, I was trying to fill a void. Slept with women. I tried drinking alcohol. I tried going out to party. Tried to fit in with the world. Basically, I tried to dress like other people. I tried to look like other people. I didn't necessarily felt love before. And as I went through college, uh, uh, even in the league, before I married my wife, we had went through trials together. I dealt with anger. She had to deal with a lot of anger that I had in my heart, um, and that turned into me somewhat being a abuser. And I'm not saying that was it, but I there was things that I tried to fill in my heart. There was boys that I tried to fill in. Um, and I'm so grateful for my wife because she's been there for me through thick and thin, like through every bad moment of my. We've been together almost 4 years now. We've been married for almost two, and um, she's been there for me through thick and thin, like literally. Um, and so as I'm, you know, in the league, me and my fiance at the time, we're about to have our first son, Noah. You know, throughout that whole year, I still struggle with the same things, drinking. I had a pornography addiction that I dealt with for a couple years. It just wasn't working. I tried it, nothing else was working. And I remember we were in Denver, Colorado, and I sat in the room, and I'm just bawling. I'm just crying. Like, I don't know how to stop this pornography addiction. I'm about to have a child. I'm like, I have to grow up. I have to like, there's big things happening in my life, and um, all I could think about was just like my son having to go through problems that I went through. Um, and I just called out to Jesus. So I'm like, Jesus, just please change my life. Like, just just do something miraculous. Just change my life, please. And I always knew Jesus was there. I went to Catholic church. I went to Catholic high school, and I always knew Jesus was there. And just in that moment, I called out to Jesus, and in a matter of months, like things changed for me. I had my son, and I didn't have to fill a void in that way anymore. Uh, and my testimony is that, you know, when you're away from Jesus, when you're not um, close to Him, when you have a relationship with Him, you're gonna, like, Satan is there. He wants to just steal, kill, and destroy. That's all he comes here to do. He doesn't want to give you peace. He wants to make your life hell, and that's what I dealt with, you know, most of my life. And when I came to know Jesus, my life changed, like, did a whole 360, and I have that peace, I have that joy, and that I've, you know, been searching for my entire life.
See? Now, he never went to that extreme, did he? You never see him go through an extreme. So all of this came at the behest of everything that you've seen beforehand. Ooh, the Knicks getting smoked like a pack of coos. So now, he didn't just find religion. This is about his second year. But when he goes through depression, he just overloaded. He just overloaded himself on, like, he just drunk a big gigantic jug of Jesus, and all of his emotions, all the stuff that he's been suppressing just start flowing out because he was not happy with the role of being DNP'd, not playing, you know, and things of that nature. Then he's rehabbing. So, yes, but that is from a year ago. That's from a year ago. So this is like his second year going through this process. So he's probably like a year and a couple of days in. So he's probably like facing 2 years of it. But Jaden Ivey has never been a problem. Like, as far as on the court, like, nice guy. He's a dog when he's on the court. But since that injury, he doesn't have that aggression no more. Since he's found Jesus, it's really affected his game. Like, his passion, like, the game does not matter as much. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's about being human. Right. It's all about being human. I felt bad for him because he needs help. Now, from what I was told today, his wife, you know, they are not talking to him because, you know, he's talking about he misses family, and she's just not talking to him because he's not listening to her. Like he wouldn't go get help. As David said, go talk to somebody. They had a doctor for him to talk to. And people said he needed a psych evaluation. And that's people's opinion. But we need to get to the real gist of the situation, the real problem. The real problem is clear. The real problem is real clear. All of these pile on people who never knew Jaden Ivey. Let's talk about that, because that's where we need to go. All right. So we told you what's going on right now with his wife. She's at home with the kids and everything else, right? He's coming home and she's talking about actually going to Indiana. Like she don't want to see him until he gets some help. Like he go see somebody. Like she's into faith too. It's not like she's out here kicking it with everybody. No, she's not. She's got 3 kids she's taking care of. And while she's doing that, she hasn't been answering her phone because he doesn't listen. So she's getting his attention. And he's claiming all the families turned their back on him. It's like, no, you're not listening. You're not listening to people when they're talking to you. No one is saying what you believe and all of this stuff. It's just, it is a complete mess. But I do want to get now into these pile on people. And when I mean the pile on people, I mean this doggone Republican conservative rights party. Let's get into this, right? These people act like they just found some candy or something in the doggone lobby and they just picked it up and like, ooh, candy. And now here we go. Right? Oh, he talked about the homosexuals. That's it. Oh my God. Here we go. This man should be allowed to say what he wants to say. I'm so proud of Jaden Ivey. Leave that man alone. And then you have the other people who like, man, you can't say that. Stop. And Charlamagne, a lot of people want to make jokes about it. It's not a joke. This man just lost pretty much everything all in a day. I understand you want to be funny and entertaining, but you got to kind of have a little bit of humility, especially if you played in the sport. Swaggy P, I get it, man, but come on. Don't tell a grown heterosexual male that he needs to pretend to be gay. I mean, that's not even a funny joke. Man, just come out and say you know that you gay and you should be all right. You can get back in the league. I'll be hell no. To even say something like that or suggest it would just tell me that's something that you would do. I think Shady said the same dumbass thing. They joking, of course, but that seemed like something up your alley that they can convince you to do. You should never have to conform to be anything. These people is nuts. All to be funny, but I'm like, dog, this dude hoop with you, Swaggy. I mean, he ain't hoop with you, but he's part of your community. You hooped. This and they more mad about, they ain't even caring about what he said. They caring about what he said about Steph Curry. Man, you can't say that about Steph Curry because they're all in a simulation in the league. They all in one umbrella. Like, hey, you can't do that. How dare you say that about LeBron? They were like, no, I didn't care about that part. he can't say that. How you gonna say Steph Curry ain't a real Christian? When it says Christian, it says Steph Curry. That man loves God. They more concerned about what he said about Steph Curry. That's how unattached they are to reality or the world. They're sticking into their bubble view of what exists in their bubble. Steph Curry, you can't say that about Steph. Oh, he's gone. He's out the league. You can't say that about Steph Curry. I mean, like, what? That's the brainwash that's been happening to them. And for the conservative people, right, who keep saying that this is it, free speech and all of this, right? It's free speech. That man should have free speech. You are the same people that want people locked up and kicked off the air for free speech. You guys are some of the biggest hypocrites in the world. Now you all for free speech. That man should be able to say what he want to say. But Jimmy Kimmel can't say what he want to say. You want all of these people removed because you don't like what they saying about Donald Trump. All of a sudden, now free speech is gone. We don't care about free speech no more. So it's like they don't know nothing about Jaden Ivey. I mean, absolutely nothing. Oh, this Jaden Ivey guy, this is a great young man, basketball player. He's up and coming. And I'm like, they don't have no idea who he is or what he do. They just knew he played in the NBA. You got people, this is what I hate about the NBA. And it's like, well, what do you hate about the NBA, sir? What is it? What is it about the NBA that's got you so up front when you know you're not watching the damn game anyway? You're not watching the NBA games. They don't even cover NBA content. Yet, here's an NBA player speaking out, and then he's being punished for it, and they're blaming the whole left as if the whole left, everybody over there is gay. Ain't nobody on the right is gay. I'm telling you, it's the delusion of grandeur that people have to deal with. If you want to be safe in America, you're going to have to wear a dress. If that's the case, then why we should just all just revolt at that point. When you're limiting conversation, the thing is other people might not agree with it. They don't have to, but you don't have to insult either. Like this, there's this thing that people had in policy, Christians. They said, you own a hotel, gay couple come to your hotel. Would you rent them a room? A Christian, no, they got to go to another hotel. Nah, that's not right. That's not the Christian way. That's not the real way to do it. You have a business. I don't want them doing nothing in my hotel. It's like, okay, that's fine. They don't have to do something in your hotel, nothing in there, but here's the thing. You can't tell them what to do when they didn't bought everything in the hotel. They paid for the room. People pay in a room all the time to go sleep. You might not like it. You might be against what you want. That's cool. Fine and dandy. They might not be Christians, but every hotel room seems to have a Bible in it, don't it? Every hotel room, you open that drawer, there's a Bible. You got a yellow pages and a Bible. Right? The thing is, you don't discriminate. That's what I don't do. I don't judge or discriminate them. They're people. They're human beings just like you. So you don't discriminate. I'm like, no, they want to get a room, that's on them. I don't have to exist in that world or do what it is that they do or be involved in their process. But it is what it is. I'm not gonna I'm not going to be a part of whatever they got going on. That's between them. But I don't have to champion it either. You know, that's not my world. I'm not out here with the rainbow flag. Yeah! No, that's not. What am I doing that? I'm not doing that. It's not for me to do. I don't have to. Now, if somebody else want to champion something or be a part of something, that's on them. It's their life. That's what freedom of choice is. It's like respect everybody's spaces. If that person there want to vote for this person, that's cool. They like so-and-so, that's cool. That's on them. You know what I'm saying? That's on them. You like who you want to like. You date who you want to date. That's how it works. I never, ever seen a situation where people needed to be taught common sense. It's common sense. It's just decency. Treat them as human beings. Now, my thing is, I don't need all this, pushed in my face, but hey, they're going to do it. The NBA is going to have Pride Month. They're going to honor them because it makes them money. It's their agenda. They want to do it, but it's their company. The NBA is a company, not a sport. They don't own the sport of basketball. The sport of basketball is played in different companies and corporations everywhere. The NBA is a company. You work for said company. This is company policy of what is conduct detrimental. Things you post on Twitter, things you say, and by you saying what the NBA represents and you think your thoughts on that is what they consider conduct detrimental. If you speak against an official or say something about the cause of an official, that's a fine. These are rules. Rules of the company. In most companies, you cannot talk about political affiliation. If you're Democrat or Republican, this is what normally happens here. But for the conservatives to keep beating this drum of like, this is such an outrage. This guy here they don't care anything about Jaden Ivey. Okay, if Jaden Ivey doesn't get a job in the NBA, will you conservatives give him a job? Will you conservatives give him a job? Nope, you won't. Y'all won't remember Jaden Ivey no more. I had to listen to this dude sit here and lie about Jaden Ivey from Detroit. Knows nothing about the damn Piston team except for, he played for the Pistons. You don't know a damn thing about the Detroit Pistons, and you from Detroit. I'm like, boy, you don't know a damn thing about Jaden Ivey. We need to get him back over here so we can get him some help because he was a really good basketball player. He could really help us and do a couple of things. We just got rid. No, we're not getting Ivy. Oh, my God. Now, here's the reality that people don't understand. Okay, here's the realities of what you don't understand. Okay, there are teams that were interested in him and that are still interested in him. He's not kicked out of the league yet because he still has some friends in the league. There will be an investigation, not an investigation, but there will be a review, and there will be, right, There will be a review. There will be an evaluation psychologically, as if something might be wrong with him because of his views, which I think is wrong. But you work for this company. And for us to be okay with him being suspended for it, like, well, he can't get a job, he gone. I'm like, well, that's the thing. Yeah, it is sad, but my thing is to make that stuff publicly, going out, saying that and talking against them in public when you are employed by this company. It's like somebody in the NBA talking about Black History Month. And they saying, man, why Black History Month? Why we got to have a Black History Month in the NBA? And blah, blah, blah. Now, if they said that, they're going to get suspended, probably waived. The whole thing going to happen to them also. You know that. He know about social media. It's not about what people think, T. That's the thing. Oh, we getting ready to do a Knicks live stream too after this. Because the Pistons about to wrap up the Central Division. Shh, tonight. Central Division is ours. The Knicks getting routed. Let's see how many show up. But I had to address the Ivy situation. Yeah, because we're finna wrap up the Central Division tonight. That's it. We number one. Oh, they're getting smacked, like I said. I told Outlaw, you missed it, T. I told Outlaw what you want to run. You think y'all going to beat Houston? What you want to run, Outlaw? Come on. Outlaw scared. We're not taking Ivy back. Actually, I'll tell you what's going on, T, since we're talking about it now. Zach Edey reached out to him, to see how he was doing mentally and trying to tell him he needs to relax. Zach Edey has been trying to reach out because that's his former teammate at Purdue. He might be coming to Memphis, the Grizzlies. But that's neither here nor there. I'm getting way ahead of everything. But, yeah, talks has been happening. All right, that's how I know what's going on, man. I've been saying, hey, for the past about 2 hours, dog, it's been all about Jaden Ivey. For 2 hours. Y'all just not getting this now. And then they got the Mike Tyson thing going over there. He's a good player. It's all mental. His aggressive game was gone once he found the Lord. He found Jesus, and his dog is gone. He was always a nice guy, but he would hit a switch when he was on the court and play tough and hard. And that went away. That part of his game went away. And, he was just repeating Bible scriptures all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that this is not going to help the team. So when they decided to make a move, they wasn't going to sign him. They weren't going to give him a free agency signing. So they knew they were going to move him at the All-Star break so they can get something for him because they weren't finna pay him. It was like, nah, we cool with Ron. So we're going to stay with Ron. We'll pay, these guys here. We had a couple of one-year players we had to let go. We didn't pay Dennis Schroeder. And that helped, Jennings come up. And now we got Jennings for the low. So by us having one of the lowest budgets in history for a team this deep with talent, it's like the NBA is like, man, this model that we spending all these multi-millions of dollars in marketing, we getting destroyed here. Right. Duran's getting wrapped up this off season. There's no doubt about that. They ain't going nowhere. So I'm about to shut this one down and start up the next one. So I'll holler at everybody in about 2 more minutes. We coming right back. We just closing this one, starting up the whole Knicks and Piston one right now. So don't go away, y'all. Just come right on back. All right, we out. Peace.